So periodically I get an email from Banggood describing their new products or their popular products, interesting products, that sort of thing. And one of the things that came across my email was this Daniu mini wireless Wi-Fi camera. And I was really intrigued because when I saw the image here, I noticed that what looked like it was connected to an Apple iPhone. And the profile of the camera and the whole components are very small. So I was very interested in that because Apple phones are traditionally kind of difficult to work with. Connecting through the serial port or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi can sometimes be tricky because Apple's proprietary control over it. Android and laptops and PCs are easier. Windows-based stuff is easier. But when I saw this, I thought, wow, this would be a great little product to use with a robotic arm or a remote control car. If you connect the car or the arm to your PC or your iPhone, you can see what's going on, what it sees. And if you're really clever, you could use Python to parse the image on your PC and do some processing, some sort of video processing like face recognition or wall detection or that sort of thing. So I thought it was pretty powerful. It got very good reviews, 4.4 out of 555 reviews. That's 4.4 out of 5. That seemed a pretty good deal. And I initially had contacted Banggood to get an engineering sample of this hardware, and they wouldn't send it to me. But they would give me a slight discount on the price. And I thought, well, all the paperwork and everything that they wanted and I'd have to send to them, the $2 off isn't really worth it because the price actually in the U.S. Is $16.53, which is very cheap. And in China, it's going to be, if they send the product from China, it's going to be $14. So it's really a cheap little camera that does what seems to be quite a lot. And so I went ahead and bought it myself, and here I am reviewing it, and hopefully it will help others use it in their projects. It did take 4 weeks for me to get it, even though I ordered it in the U.S., so that seemed a little slow, considering if you order it from China, it's about 6 weeks. So not necessarily faster. Another thing that was kind of interesting was trying to find this product in Banggood website doing the search. I had a hard time, so you may want to try using the product ID here and see if that doesn't help. So let's go down and take a look at some of the description and some of the other specifications. It has describes here that it does iOS and Android systems, and here are some of the features that it supports. It does P2P. It does audio, it says, which is interesting. It has a built-in battery, which they claim lasts 45 minutes. I've read on reviews that it lasts anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, possibly, but when you're charging, sometimes the battery gets warm. I will review that and test that and see if that's true. Here are some of the specifications. It's AVI format. It does MJPEG coding. Here's the resolution. You can read more about what it does. It does state in some of the reviews that you can only be about 30 meters or 90 feet away when using the Wi-Fi, so I will test that. The package has 3 items, a mini Wi-Fi camera, a power cable to charge it, and then a user manual. And I've read in some of the reviews that the user manual is not the greatest. It's kind of hard to read. I did find a review that gives you the web address of a website where you can download a manual for your iPhone or iOS or Android or PC, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'll discuss that later. Here's the more of the camera and the goodies you get with it. It's very small. You can see here it's very small. I guess you can use it to spy on your dog. It has a power input that you plug it in to charge the battery. It has a little built-in battery on-off. There's a TF card slot where I guess you can save images. or video to the card, and then some sort of mode, and I'm not really sure what that mode is. This right here, they claim to be the speaker, so we will see. It's not very long. The actual body is 6 centimeters by 1 centimeter thick by 1.8 centimeters wide. Fits in the palm of your hand, so it could go on a robotic car or a robotic arm very cleanly. I'm sure it doesn't weigh very much. There's no mention of the weight, but I will weigh it just so I can report back, and so that others will know if they decide to buy this. From here to here, one of the reviews, one of the videos showed there's about 14 inches. Here's the cam ID, which I'm not really sure. I think that's part of the Wi-Fi. Here's the password and the access code. So that I will have to figure out how to use it. These parts for holding the lens and mounting the lens securely. I'm not really sure what they all do, but we'll find out. And then here's the whole kit right here. Not much to it, but then again, it's only $16.50, so you can't really argue. So one of the reviews that I found was most helpful was this one. It goes into describing, he unpacks it and tries to figure out how to connect it. If you want to load it on your PC, I guess you have to download this plug APK, plug to view APK, and a PC client sysmonitor zip. And I guess you download that, install that on your PC, and get it to work. I'm not looking to use this on my PC. I'm looking to use it just on my Apple iPhone. When you go to your Wi-Fi, you'll find this ID. I guess you select that, and then you enter this password. And I guess that seems to connect you, but I will test that and see how that works. He says here that it worked for an hour and a half for him, which may or may not be true, but that's actually a pretty good duration. And it can be used up to 3 meters away or 90 feet away. All in all, that's a good review, and it was very helpful. He does give the website here, which is this website right here, and this is all it shows. And it does state the software here, but I didn't realize that you would have to look that up under the iOS, the App Store for Windows, or the Google Play Store or Station or Store for Android. So I didn't realize that at the time. So I actually looked for a video and found it in a video, which I'll show you here in a second. These QR codes, I guess you scan in, all they are manuals. And I'm not sure the manuals work so well or any different than what you get in the box. The video I did see was this one. And this is the name of the video if you want to search for it, or you can go up here and get it by the website here and pull it up. What I did was I actually watched this video, and I kind of just quickly saw that he had it right here underneath his finger, and I blew up the picture and could see what the name of it was, and that's how I got the name of the video to download from the App Store. So the actual video, or not application, but the actual application right here listed on the video is this one. This is what I downloaded, my understanding is this is the program you use to get to capture the video from the camera. So I will be testing that. It doesn't have very good reviews, but we'll see if it works. Has a lot of features, and basically he shows here how to download it for his Android phone. He's using, I guess, Google Play, and basically he had a little bit of difficulty, so he selects the bar and then selects 9527, and it comes up, and here it is right here, and it's obviously installed. He's using it. So I guess you use the same program, the P2P Cam Viewer, both for the iPhone and for the Android phone. All in all, I'm eager to set this up and get it working. I'd like to use it with a few projects, and like I said, maybe over time I might expand it to the PC, and then maybe use Python to parse that image to do facial recognition or wall detection or whatever. So that's a good reason why I decided to review this, and maybe others may be interested too. PC, there's a website here, www.scc21.net, and this is all that it is. There isn't anything else. And so if you have an Android phone and you want the P2P cam viewer software, this is what you scan. I believe this is the manual, but I'm not sure. I never scanned this. I don't have a QR reader for this. If you're using the Apple iOS, you scan this. These are other programs, which I'm not sure what they are, so I never scan those. Now, the software you need for Windows for the P2P cam viewer is this. And you click on this, and it downloads a zip file that you install on your PC. And when you do that, you get this software. And I actually have the camera running here. You can see it moving around and focusing on something. You double click. Once you launch the software, you'll see the camera ID here. You double click it, and this will come open. And a lot of these features don't work at all. Zooming in, navigating, refreshing, I didn't get any of that stuff to work, so don't count on that. But you do get an image. And you can see it's changing. This is just the box. And it works quite well. And so there are some options up here. I'm not sure they work either. But other than that, it does a nice picture. And I'm thinking you can probably capture this image here using Python and then processing it to do whatever you want. Facial recognition, detecting a wall. If you have this mounted on a car that moves around, you could do that too. So there's a lot of things you can do with it, and the camera's lightweight, and if you get a nice little battery pack, probably could run for quite a while, several hours, I would imagine. The battery that's built in doesn't last more than a minute, I don't think. At least mine doesn't. Maybe the newer ones do. That I ordered from Banggood that has the mini camera. It's just a mailing pouch. Typically all the products I get come in a plastic bag like this with a sticker. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we have inside. So basically the pouch is here, comes with an invoice, and usually the product is wrapped in this foam, and then you unwrap it, and here's the product. Little box with the camera information, pretty standard. The QR reader, we will have to check to see what that says. That's probably the manual though, and it gives all the specifics. It's not much, but again, it was only 14 bucks. Here's some of the mount for the lens. Here's the power cord, USB power cord. Here's the actual camera, very small, and pretty much the size they say it is. The ribbon I hear cable is very thin, and that's true. It's very, very thin. And I had mentioned earlier that this was a speaker. It's actually not a speaker. This little device here, that's the microphone. So we'll check to see if that works. And here it has all the code information on this side for password and that sort of thing. So that's the camera. And then here's that's all that's in the box. Here's the manual. And like they say, the print is very small, but it seems to have quite a few bits of information. You're really going to need to get something to read that small print. But all in all, it does come with a manual, and this is the hardware, and that's what it showed on the website and in the reviews, so it seems complete. So I purchased this little camera, the Daniu HD camera, and I wanted to use it with robotic arm and to capture video and to process with a laptop or be able to use the video with my iPhone. And this has been quite a learning experience with this little camera. The manual is not so great. You really have to look at the video at Banggood and a few other videos online to see how to operate this. But it doesn't do a lot. When it does work, it is quite cool and does quite a good job, actually. So I did wind up labeling what the switches were using whiteout because it's hard to tell which way this switch is. It isn't labeled, so I now know that up is on and off is down, and this switch, I'm not really sure what this switch is. It has two locations, but I keep it down. That's where it works. In addition to that, you need to keep power to it. This power cord that comes with it, you got to keep it plugged in all the time because the little battery that's on here, the Wi-Fi does not work so well or very long, actually. So you can tell that it's working because there's a red light and a slowly flashing blue light. And it takes a while for the Wi-Fi to actually generate the signal and go through its little boot process. It takes a little bit of time. And once you get it, normally it will broadcast under the Wi-Fi an SSID of MD81S. And it will be unsecured. There won't be a password for that. And so if you go to your settings on your or whatever phone you have and you select Wi-Fi, it should show up here as one of the options. And then you would select it and it would come up here, MD81S. Well, for some reason, mine has stopped broadcasting the SSID. And I thought that was a problem and could cause it not to work anymore. But according to Banggood, it doesn't have to broadcast the SSID, the MD81S, for it to work. So, you know, I let it sit here and spin and try to log in and stuff. And sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. But according to them, it's not a big deal. So once you have this plugged in and you have the side switches set to the correct setting, you don't have to have a TFT card in here or an SD card, whatever this little micro card is. You don't I thought you had to, but you don't. It works well without it. There is a little microphone in here that I guess seems to work well. I haven't really got it to work so well. And there's a little button right there, which I thought was the reset, but it doesn't really reset. So I was hoping to reset this in order to get the SSID to come back, and that doesn't seem to be working. So I'm going to continue to use it without it. So we bring up the software, and it's this button right here, the P2P cam viewer. You download it from the web, and there's the camera right there. Now you go to My Cameras, and you hit the QR reader, and you get this all lined up. And it pulls it in for you. You say log in. And now when you go over to, you can select this and hit My Camera, and then here, and under wireless settings, you put in your SSID of your home Wi-Fi and the password for your home Wi-Fi. So I'm going to do that now. And my SSID is in my password and SSID. And it comes back with configure success. And then you go ahead and try to log in. And you might have to tap this a couple times. And here, options, you can add a camera, change a password. We're not going to do any of that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down, bring it back up again. There we are. Now we're online. So I went from my camera saying connecting, which it always says. Sometimes it says offline, but you want it to say connecting. And this number right here is the number that's on your camera. We select local, and then we select camera, and it comes up with the camera. And that's how the camera works. You can see it's working in real time. And it's all wavy and stuff. You need to mount it so it doesn't move around, but you get the idea that it is working. And so these features down here don't really do anything. I've played with all of them. I think the camera will take some pictures. Yeah, the video will take some video. And it saves it on one of the other tabs. So we go back to local camera, and here's files. Here's some of the pictures and some of the video. We go back, and then here's another one I did, but there's nothing there. So you can delete that, done, and then you go back. So I did get it working earlier, but this is the one I just did just now. And so that's really all that works. There's some alarms you can set. There's a few more options here, but I don't really ever use them. Under local camera, there's the settings here. You can do wireless setting, where you set the SSID, some video settings for mainstream. Here's SD cards. You can do all sorts of motion setting, email settings. You can have it sent emails to you. And I don't know if that works or not. I haven't really played with that, but that's something that you can explore on your own. But other than that, the little camera works really well. It's easy to set up. It's a little bit deceiving at first because the key is when it comes up with this wireless setting, you want to put in fact, the first time you run the program, there won't be, when the first time you start this program, this camera program, this will all be blank. And it's a little bit confusing, and you'll be given a screen when you first open up the program that looks like this. Every time you come in, you're like, SSID and password. You want to, intuitively, you want to use the SSID and password from the camera, but that's totally wrong and bogus. You want to use your SSID and password from your home network, Wi-Fi network. That's what this is for, not the camera. Once you get the camera working, you then can scan it. It'll ask you to use the QR reader to scan like I did, and that's where it enters the camera. And you don't need to have the Wi-Fi working for this to work, or the SSID. So don't think you need it. Like for instance here, I'll show you. If I go into Wi-Fi settings, let me bring this back up. You can see here under settings, I don't have the MD81S running, or it's not listed. So you really don't need to get that working. I wouldn't even bother with it. You can if you want. It's kind of nice to have, but you don't need to waste your time trying to log into it like that. So that seems to be the best way to do this. And like I said, basically what you do is you want to toggle between my camera and local cameras until you see under local cameras a picture and the ID online, and you keep hitting refresh between my camera and local cameras over and over and over until it works. And if it doesn't, shut down the app and relaunch it. And keep doing that over and over. And it does take some time for the camera to get working. It's kind of a problem. Like right now, it just lost it. Oh, there we go. Now it's online. And so here we have the camera. I'm trying to get it to look at something else. There we go. So you get kind of an idea of what's going on with the camera. It is a little finicky. You can be about 50 feet away, maybe 100 feet away from the camera, and it still kind of works. I think it works mostly through the Wi-Fi, not from a direct connection. Some other things to keep in mind. You need to have a good power source for it. The power source needs to be a good battery. So maybe you can get one of those rechargeable battery packs that you use for traveling for recharging your phone, and you could plug this into that, and that would be a good battery pack. I haven't found one any other way yet. The other thing to keep in mind is that the ribbon cable I read is very thin and can be bent or broken. So be careful of that. You eventually want to mount it on something so that it works a little bit better. It's a little bit more secure. Other than that, it does get a little warm when you charge it and leave it on with a battery pack. I'm still trying to find out if there's a reset button for this. I was thinking of maybe cutting the sleeve off and checking to see if there are any other buttons that are hidden underneath this pack. So far, I haven't done that yet. That might be something I might do in the future. But I'd like to use it a little bit. I would like to be able to capture this video image to let's say, the computer desktop or something. And, that there is a software program which I will follow up here and show how that works on the PC or on the laptop, and then you can capture that data to your screen, and maybe use Python to go ahead and process that image. So that is all I have for using the camera with your iPhone or Android phone. It works pretty well. It's pretty stable, but like I said, a lot of the other features don't work at all. So for the most part, it's just a video image and that's it. I hope this video helps you with your robotic projects, and I highly recommend this little camera. It's very versatile, it's inexpensive, and it's compact. Please subscribe and leave comments. I won't reply with any comments, but others may. And tell your friends to watch the videos too, if it can help them also.